पादमणिपर्यन्तां गुरूणामाकृतिं स्मरेतेन विघ्नप्रणश्यन्ति सिद्धन्ति च मनोरथः लक्ष्मीं तनोतु नितरामितरानपेक्षमङ्कृद्वयं निगमशातिशिखाप्रबालं विडम्बमं गुरुहडम्बरचौर्यनिघ्नं विघ्नातिभेदशतधारधरन्धरः सर्वेषां स्वागतं. Welcome to the Bhashya session. So the Bhashya for the 61st to 63 shlokas. So 61st we saw Anayasena cha yanti muktim Keshava Ashritaha Samshritaha. Both can be used over there. I think we learned Ashritaha. Keshavam Ashritaha. So here by taking refuge in the thought of Keshava, we can, without efforts, without ayasa, we can attain moksha. And knowing this, it is that Shakradya Paripantinaha, they become our enemies. So here I had already mentioned this. When we say Shakradya Paripantinaha, the meaning is Indradi Devatas and all that. But on a more deep sense, they are not the Ganas that we are talking about. The representation of Indras are the Indriyas, which obviously is through whom we are going to receive information. So it is that Indriya Adhina Gochara that is going to mold our understanding of everything. So we need to go beyond that, because obviously Krishna conscious is beyond Indriya Gochara. So here there is a Bhagavata Vachanam. I'm not sure which shloka is this. I have to check this. Devan hitva yajantopi Vishnum devesha machyutam nabhigachanti te Vishnoho prasadam moksha sadhanam. So Devan hitva yajanto api Vishnum. Even when you do the, here we cannot say yajante devan hitva yajantopi Vishnum devesham achyutam. So even the devas, they pray to Devesha. Isha is the king of it. Achyutam, who is nothing but Vishnum Achyutam. Nabhigachanti te Vishnoho prasadam moksha sadhanam. So by praying to him, we can attain moksha. This understanding is where we have to, there is one more let me Dehendriya. Now when we classify the devas, the ganas, and the purushas or purushas, the manavas, etc., we say that Dehendriya pranadhiyan tridhaiva yabhi maninaha. So who are Naranam, who are humans? Humans are those who has Deha Indriya Abhimana. That is the reason Deha is Sharira, Indriya is all the Indriyas, Prana, which is the Jivan Shakti, Adhiyam. Adhiyam is what is coming under that is what is derived from all these things, which is the Arbuddhi. Tridha, they are of three prakhara, they are of three categories, and they are all Abhimaninaha. So here we know that the continuation of this, Tannottama Devatastu Sarvadosha Vivarjitaha. So the Uttamas of this Shreni, the Tridhaiva, there are three types of people who come out of this, Deha Indriya Prani. All of them, us are coming under that only. So first one are the Devatas. So who are Devatas? Sarva dosha vivarjitaha. That means who have learned to come beyond the deha, indriya, pranadhi. They have learned to do it, but not learned as in not completely do it. Otherwise, they would reach the Parabrahman itself. But they have learned to do it. Sarva dosha vivarjitaha. Then the ganas susampannaha. Ganaihi sarvaihi susampannaha. Virincat Uttarottaram. These uh, these are gunadoshitaha. The second Shreni, Madhyama, they are gunadoshitaha. They have the power to escape the Deha, Indriya, Pranadi, all those abhimanas. What happens is they are gunadoshitaha due to the gunas they are getting associated. We are gunadoshitaha. We are the Madhyamas. And then asuras are adhamas who are not even trying to get past the abhimanas. So deha indriya abhimanas. So here, when we look at what the verse is trying to say, the devatas are ahead of us because they know how to disassociate with the abhiman of deha, indriya, prana, etc., etc. We as humans are capable of it, susampannaha, but we have guna doshas. That means our gunas are getting the gunas when we're talking about Arishad Vargas are nothing but gunas only. So our gunas, they are getting caught up in that. Asuras are not even trying to get disassociated with that. So now over here, how can we reach Parabrahman, or how can we get away, or how can we attain moksha is through his name rather than trying to disassociate the abhimana of pradeha indriya, associating our abhimana with Krishna is able to reduce the or increase the detachment from Dehindriya Gocharas. Therefore, we are able to attain the same result, that is mukti. This is something that the devatas, or rather gunas, do not want us to do. Therefore, the gunas are trying to capture us. And where do we get our gunas from? It is the indriyas. All the gunas, we are derivative from that, because the information for a human being is from the indriya only. So we are getting caught up in that. So they are our enemies. That is the meaning of this shloka. And in the end, when we say Chatussagara Mahasadhya, Jambu Dvipottami, Jambu Dvipot, Jambu Dvipottami Kvachit, Napuman Keshavadanyah, Sarvapapa Chikitsakaha. So this is very Sarvapa. In that particular place called as Jambudvipa, there is nobody other than Krishna who is Sarvapapa Chikitsakaha. Now, what we need to understand is the geographical history of Bharata. Now, when we look at the modern history, we have understood that Gondwana land was probably the first piece of land, and India was a part of that particular supercontinent. It was called as, everything was together, and we had it included the present day South America, Africa, Antarctica, etc., etc. And this was 180 million years ago or something. And then that Gondwana land, the big thing, it started to split. Small parts of it started coming off, and then the Indian plate, it started to drift. Then it took one northward journey, and today the current Madagascar, maybe near to uh, Africa. So there our Indian plate was associated, or maybe it was attached to it. It got separated, and then it started floating. And this was between 120 to some 50 million years ago or something. It started moving northwards. Now, if we imagine this to be Africa, Madagascar is somewhere over here, it was attached to that, then it started floating away. Then this started moving northward. It started moving northward like this. At this point of time, we can say that the whole piece of India, what we call, was covered by oceans on four sides. Then what happened? The collusion of the Eurasian, what we have, the China and all those places, that is called as the Eurasian plate. So that was already there, and the India, it came, and the plate, it just colluded towards it, and that caused the Himalayan fold mountains. Now, before that, after getting detached from the Madagascar or the African plate, and before colliding with the Eurasian plate, India was somewhere over here, which was covered by water on all the four sides. That is the reason it is called as Chatussagara. Uh, uh, what was this thing? Chatussagaram Asadya. Chatusagaram Asadya, going through it. So it was covered by four oceans. That is what they're trying to say. So even if we ignore the ancient heritage of the shlokas and all that, this is coming from the Puranas. We need to understand that the fact that the Indian plate that was floating and which was covered by oceans on all four sides, that our scriptures told us long before modern science. Today, modern science is saying that this was the state of the Indian plate somewhere between 120 to 50 million years ago. I mean, between that range, it was actually the state. So, how did we record it before anybody told us is something that we need to understand. So, we did know about, maybe we exist long before that. Maybe there was some civilizations which has come and gone, cyclic nature. But what we need to understand is that our Jambu Dvipa, or what we call as present day Bharat, might not be the complete plate, Indian plate. There might be a bigger land, and we might be just a part of it. But the existence of this piece of land is very ancient, probably more older than any other civilizations, considering that the present day tectonic history is telling us that this happened somewhere around 120 to 50 million years ago. So, which means that while it was like that, people would have noticed it, and they said that it is surrounded by four oceans, Chatusagara. So that might be the reason why we call why Jambudvipa is described as Chatusagara. Uh, that means it is covered by four oceans. So that has to be understood, where we need to dig a little further to know how old and how ancient our recordings are. So these are the three shlokas that we have seen, and I think we can conclude. स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः प्रतिपालयन्तां न्यायेन मार्गेण मही महिषा गोब्राह्मणेभ्यो शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि।